Welcome back. You're listening to the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM, and it's time to talk some tennis in regional South Australia. We'd usually be talking all about the Southern Ports tennis competition, but our man on the ground, Egan Regnier, couldn't partake in that on the weekend because he was too busy representing the Southern Ports competition and his hometown of Robe, playing in the Lucindale All Stars tennis tournament in Lucindale, and what a big event it was. Of course, we profiled that here on the Flow FM airwaves with Eliza Hanbury and Dan Crouch. It's time now to focus on how it all went with Egan Regnier. Egan, great to have you back with us. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Ellis. And big wrap for that. But it was a super weekend, that's for sure.
No doubt. Well, Egan, firstly, just take us through the atmosphere. I know we had some rather ordinary weather across the state on the weekend, but this was a highly anticipated event, and I'm sure those who are rusted on tennis fans still made their way out there.
Yeah, for sure. Friday last week was terrible weather, especially in the Naracoorte-Lucindale area, and there was a lot of concerns about how the grass court's going to play out with so much rain the day before and a little bit in the morning. But the day went smoothly in the end. It's held off for us, and we saw some really quality tennis through the day, and I'm sure everyone that came and saw it would have been very pleased, and I know a bit blown away, I guess, with some of the talent that SA has in tennis.
Yeah, not just by the wind. Before we talk about the actual action itself, Egan, I love to see just how sort of embraced this event was by the locals. You had kids getting autographs and things like that. It's a special thing to see because tennis, you feel as though it sort of only gets its true airtime in this country in the Grand Slam sort of window. So to see youngsters around Lucindale lining up for autographs with these tennis players from Adelaide was a spectacular thing. Just tell us more about the build-up to the event.
Yeah, for sure. The All-Stars from Adelaide, they had a special visit to the Lucindale Area School on the Friday afternoon, and got to sit down and sign some autographs for the kids, which I'm sure they would have loved, and got to have a few hits for them and play a few games for them. It's probably, they might not realise how big the experience was, but something they can hopefully they remember, and they can take up tennis as a sport in the future and go somewhere with it. But, very lucky for the kids to experience that.
Now, I guess we could call you something of a seasoned semi-pro, but did you still sort of get a few butterflies in there, Egan, lining up against these guys?
I was actually a nervous wreck to start my match. I don't know. They, we were lucky enough to have ball kids in our matches, which I've never experienced before, and they were sitting there on courtside watching our games, and telling us we'd change over games and that sort of thing, and it was really, really good experience. I was extremely nervous for the first couple of games, that's for sure. But you just got to try and let that go, and you're only human as well. So just try and play the best you can.
Yeah, I'm sure you found your rhythm in the end there. As far as the surface goes, how much of an impact did that have? Obviously, it plays a part on the performance of, both players or all four players for that matter if it's doubles. But how did that shape up?
A little bit. I'd speak to the All-Stars from Adelaide. They don't play a lot of grass matches. They play a lot of hard court games. So to play on the grass was a bit different for them. And, they all enjoyed it. And, even for us that play there 4 or 5 times a year, it's something you just got to get used to very quickly. And thing in your head, you just can't let anything bounce because you just don't know if it's going to bounce up or just die. But I guess it's just a part of the game, and it works both sides. So you can't get too mad with it.
It's a bit like the old soccer adage, Egan, in that a lot of people say, well, there might be a great team on their day, but when they travel to Stoke City, can they do it there on a Tuesday night? Of course, Stoke City, the illusion there being a really windy ground with the crowd right on top of the away side. So I guess that played in your hand, if anything, Egan, the fact that these privileged Adelaideans with their hard court there at the Next Gen, they had to do it on the grass in some wet sort of conditions.
Yeah, for sure. They might have come down to our level a little bit more, which helped us a bit. But yeah, again, it's another challenge for them, and they've obviously played some really good tennis growing up, and that's why they're called an all-star. And I guess it's just another factor they have to think in their head when they had to go on the court on Saturday. And yeah, they still played unbelievable tennis of what we got to watch, and yeah, it didn't really slow them down in the end. But yeah, probably a little thing they had to get used to in a warm-up, but yeah, they clicked on really quick.
All right, well, give us a rundown of how it all went as far as results go, Egan.
Yeah, so we got put into two teams, a red team and a blue team through the day, and there was 8 players in each team, and pretty much there was just singles, doubles, and mixed doubles played through the day, and there was 10 sets played for the total day, and the red team, which I was in, was lucky enough we won 6 sets to 4. So very close match for the day, and yeah, we were lucky enough to just squeeze the win in.
And just looking forward to the next year's instalment of the event, and obviously knowing that there's a lot of interest in tennis both in regional and metro South Australia. How do you think things are poised right now with a Grand Slam thrown in there? Is the game in a good place at the moment?
Yeah, I like to think so. This time of year is always a little bit exciting if you're a tennis fan, especially Grand Slams are coming up, and even the tournaments around the country leading up to the Grand Slams in Brisbane and the Adelaide International and all them tournaments where all the superstars from around the world come down and they spend about months in Australia. It's very exciting time, and hopefully everyone gets on board and watches heaps of tennis over the summer and get a few new players out of it. So that'll be very nice.
Back home over in Robe, were you keeping tabs on how things were going, or was anyone keeping tabs on how you were going over in Lucindale with regards to the Southern Ports tennis comp and, of course, the side you captain, the Robe Rebels?
Yeah, I was keeping tabs of the Rebels. We weren't going too flash, and yeah, I was getting a few messages through the day from a few people from Robe asking how I was going, which was nice. But yeah, it was I was making sure I was definitely keeping track of how the team was travelling, and unfortunately we didn't have a win. But anyway, we'll bounce back this week, hopefully.
Absolutely. Well, if you can, just let us know who you're lining up against and some of the other games that are going to catch your eye across the day tomorrow.
Yeah, so this week's going to be a fairly good week, I reckon. With the matches, we're travelling down to Narracourt, and that's this is going to be a very even match, I'd like to think, and obviously I'm going to tip the Rebels to have the win there, but it's not going to be easy at all. The Roosters, the other Robe team, they're going to host the Lucindale Koalas down in Robe, and this is going to be interesting. Koalas are not in best shape, but I reckon they'll hit their straps, and I reckon they're going to beat the Roosters. Penola are going to host Francis, and Penola just struggling a little bit, so I'll tip Francis in that game. And I reckon the match of the round is going to be Beachport versus Kingston. Down at Beachport, both really good sides flying at the moment. I think Kingston are going to get the win just in that.
There we have it. Egan Regnier coming to us from a very windy Robe. Good luck, Egan, and thanks very much for the updates on the Lucindale All Stars. All the best over the course of tomorrow. We'll speak to you again next week.
No, thanks for having me.